Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NHL 23 Franchise Mode as the New Jersey Devils are on the quest for the Cup. The New Jersey Devils, who are in very big financial issue zone right now. Yo, Albert, what's going on, dude? Yeah, so we had to make some moves, and that included releasing a bunch of guys or trading a bunch of guys, which I didn't want to do, but had to do it because I had to make room to re-sign prospects of the future, and it got kind of crazy. Albert says, I was busy yesterday, that's why I didn't drop in. I don't think I streamed until you're normally going to bed, I think, so I don't even know if you would have been awake when I was streaming. I forget. I don't remember what time it was. But no worries, dude. It's all good. All right, so I will, real quick, so as you can see, Grantham and Goldobin are going to be a long-term project. I'm really hoping that they take some big steps forward. And obviously it's going to take a couple of seasons, but, you know, we'll see what happens. But anyway, real quick, Nico Hischier is now making $12.2 million. So he's making a fortune. Albert says, by the way, God of War is amazing. You know me, I'm not going to spoil anything. Just know it's fucking great. I keep hearing that from so many people. I'm so psyched to play it. It's going to be a long week waiting. But yeah, I can't wait, man. But players that I had to resign, so Zach Benson, who's now making $7 million. So that was like a $6 million increase just about. And I still have to re-sign Holtz and Sharon Govich in this upcoming off season, which is gonna cost me. Sharon Govich right now making 3.25. What is he gonna expect? Yeah, he's gonna be expecting a huge pay jump. Holtz making 7.9. Yeah, he's gonna want to. So we're gonna have to make some moves. I've got Holtz on the top line right now, so if his numbers really skyrocket, we're gonna be we're gonna have probably two lines of really really strong players, really highly paid players, and then our bottom two lines are gonna be small. Also, several players. Kunitz, I signed him and brought him. We brought him in. You should feel bad for me, Albert. It sucks to wait, but we brought him into our NHL lineup, so we'll see how he does. But I mean, we're really hoping that he pans out. An elite low, he's already up to an 80 at 20 years old, so that's helpful. Clark, of course, we're holding on to. Most of these other guys, we just kind of, they were RFAs that we extended for an extra year. It's all my forwards. But here's where I also ran into problems, is that I had to re-sign Mukamadulin and Kevin Ball. Kevin Ball's not asking for a lot. But you can see the talent drops when we get to our bottom pairing here. I mean, Ball's decent, but Sherratt, it's got a lot to learn yet. He's, I shouldn't say a lot to learn. What am I talking about? I meant Riley Walsh has a lot to learn. Like, But at 28 years old, I don't think he's going to improve much more, so he's going to kind of be stuck at that extra. No, Ben Sherratt I brought in for just a 1-year deal. Howard says, it's funny, it's such a first world problem that I would be sad if I was you. Yeah, it's a total world problem. I can't say world for some reason. I don't know what my problem is. But yeah, it's definitely not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but still is disappointing. So, players that I drafted. I don't think there's anybody up top here. So my first pick, I was not able to pull off the miracle of getting that franchise player at number 1. Columbus absolutely refused to make that trade, and I was offering some crazy shit. And they were like, no. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get him. But I did pick up, with my pick, Charlie Landry, who, I mean, I'm going to need strong defensive prospects now that I've got some guys who are getting really well paid and some guys who are going to be leaving, like pretty soon Dougie Hamilton's contract is going to be up, and that's going to be $9 million that I'm not going to re-sign. And I love Dougie Hamilton, but, you know, that's a lot of money. And if I'm going to hold on to some other guys, I got to let them go. But Landry here is a defensive defenseman, 6'2", 203 pounds. And, yeah, he's just a bruiser. This is originally he was listed to be an enforcer, and then when I scouted him a little bit more, it was like he's a defensive defenseman. And usually that's what happens. Usually when you've got, you know, especially with defensemen, it's like it's an enforcer. You can be guaranteed it's just a defensive defenseman. I shouldn't say just. Obviously, it's good to have this type of player. So Landry, we picked him up. Francois, we got last in the last draft. Same thing with Donahue. We picked up Carson Wieman. This was a third-round pick, and we were able to snag an elite medium right defenseman. 6'5", 217, another defensive D. Doesn't have any X factors or anything, but he could turn out to be a nice little gem, even though he wasn't listed as a gem. But, you know, speaking of gems, I did pick one up. This would not be the one. But here's another one. I just happened to get a bunch of defensemen. It's just the way. This was a very defensive-heavy draft. But again, another elite medium, DFD, 6'5", 233. This guy's another monster. Albert says, I think it's better than the first God of War from 2017. Really? Well, that's pretty awesome. This dude, another third-round pick. So that was 2 third-round picks that I was able to pull out and get that were elite mediums. So that was a hell of a freaking deal. I picked up this guy, Klotz. Now, speaking of gems, Crawford here. 6'4", 197. Top 4, but he was listed as a gem. He's a two-way guy. We'll see how he pans out. One of the things that was listed for him is that he's got very strong leadership qualities. So this could be a player who could be a future captain, maybe, or at least an alternate, but a strong player to have on the team. So I'm hoping that he pans out. I hope that his overall gets boosted quite a bit. Haskins, I think that was my second round pick. Power forward. He's whatever. Khan was a late pick. Higgins we got a while ago. Sheriff was another one. I don't think there's anybody else that was really... Oh, no. I did have one more. Spezza. There he is. Another elite medium I got in the 4th round. Hey, come on. How can I not take Gene Chucko? Gene Chucko. Yeah. 5'10", 179. He's a grinder. He's probably just going to be elite medium. Who knows how he eventually pans out, but an overall 48, so he could be a very long-term project. He's probably going to be in the... he'll be playing for USA Hockey for a while, and then he'll be playing in the AHL for quite some time. I have a feeling before that 48 really jumps. But, come on, we got Chucko on the team. That's pretty awesome. All right, so the problem that we're having now is looking at... All right, top line. The only thing I really did was I switched Holtz and Sharangovich. Sharangovich was putting up a lot of goals. Holtz is slightly better. It doesn't matter which guy is in which position. The overall bonus doesn't change. But I figured Holtz is my younger guy. Not by a hell of a lot, but, he's got 4 years younger than Sharangovich. And he's supposed to be a sniper. I want to see him. I want to see his goal production increase. We already know that Sharangovich can do it. Now, I don't know what the story is, why this second line is constantly getting eaten up in the plus-minus. But it seems like this is the line that gets scored on a lot. Sharangovich has really good defensive awareness, so I'm hoping. So does Jack Hughes and Benson. So I don't know what the problem is. I don't know why that line was getting messed up. Holtz doesn't have as good defensive awareness. But yeah, for whatever reason, that line just kept getting scored on. But as you can see, here we go, and we're real low on our overalls. We got 2 strong lines, but then our bottom pairings are not so great. And I'm just hoping that this chemistry just naturally increases. Because for right now, not so much. And Sherrod's just an extra. We brought him in just like I brought in Cody Clark. Just kind of be our extra guys. So let's get into the season. Let's see how things go. And once again, Brett should not be on the first line according to his line fit stats, but he's killing it in his point production. So whatever, it works. So. We are salary cap compliant. So 3-2-2. Not a amazing start, but it's just preseason, so whatever. Let's get through October. And I already did all of the scouting and all that stuff, and we're going to have to worry about waivers. Already did the scouting, like I just said. All right, already got an injury down in Utica. I should say up in Utica. All right, Central Scouting. Do we have anything popping out immediately? No. It's too early. Scouting just started, so we're going to have minimal information on any of those guys. And if you guys can pardon me for one moment, I have to take my old man pills. All my blood sugar and cholesterol and all that nonsense. So 1 second. And I know it's funny. I'm not even 50 yet, and yet here I am bitching about being an old man. All right. So not a good record so far. Well, now we're at 500. Utica, once again, we're not worrying about Utica. All right, we're just getting over 400. I got a strong feeling that this season is going to be a throwaway season, and we're going to go into a rebuild, which really sucks. Yeah, I am. Albert says, you're just an old hardcore punk dude. Exactly. Good year for rookies. Yeah, it's nice to know. Playing some games. Exactly. Bingo. Yeah, like we managed to get to the Cup Finals, got swept, and then we failed to make the playoffs the following year. And then I think we're going to be going into another rebuild because I'm going to have to trade away some expensive players because I'm just not going to be able to afford them. Nico's hurt. Great. The $12 million man is injured. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. All right, hold on. Hold on. Okay, good. Freaked me out for a second. Well, we got Cody Clark on the top line there. Yeah, I thought all my lines were going to get screwed up because of that, but apparently not. All right. We are still under 500. And I got a feeling that's just going to be the way this season's going to pan out. 8, 10, and 2 going into December. I have to go check on my scouts real quick because I know I had a couple that were going to be done. There we go, USA West. I knew they were going to be done in November. USA East actually has, I was going to say, an embarrassment with not producing anyone this season. We'll just make sure that old Sturm here is the first one to get scouted. What is there? A player in ice? Yeah. Whatever, we're going to keep this guy busy. You can scout everybody, even though most of them will never see the NHL. Gonna do the same thing here with Muir. And the reason for those who don't know, the reason I do this way from bottom to top, because the order with which you select the players is the order that they're gonna. It's the opposite order of what they're going to do in terms of how they're going to scout. So the last ones that you click go to the top of the list, and those are the first ones that they prioritize. It's weird, but there's no way to adjust that. So, like, you can't go in there and manually set an order for them to scout, which I don't really think is totally necessary. I just think it's weird that they put it in opposite order. All right, so let's look at the draft I wanted to look at the draft class. All right. Let's check these guys out. Anything exciting? No. And elite mediums I don't consider exciting because they always pop up. Uh-oh. Emmanuel Robitaille, you're a bust. All right, so no gems discovered yet. But this draft is going to be pretty big for that first round because we have a chance of, once again, being getting a very early pick. Because this team is sucking right now. All right. Kunitz. He's fine. But yeah, I definitely foresee some big trades coming up in the future. No. I don't want that. And I also really can't make any trades that are going to be taking on salary because I don't have the cap space. To be perfectly frank. But watch, we get a record that's just good enough to like kind of put us out of that top 5 or 6. Yeah, we're going to start winning. Yeah, we're going to go on a winning streak now, and we're going to... Ah, crap. I spoke too soon. All right, this one's still being scouted. All right, nothing new to report. All right, Yegor is back. Let's get him back in there. We're above 500 now. We're not doing awesome, but we're above 500. We're flirting with a wild card spot, but I don't know. Albert says, I'm playing God of War now. I will say it is even more violent now. You're not going to hear me complain about that, that's for sure. All right, let's get through February, and then I'm going to have to go back into my scouting and mess with that. No. What was Sharov? Top 9, low. It was a grinder. So I have this actually written down. But no, this would be giving up a player and then getting a 3rd round pick next year. I want the pick this year because this is likely to be a crappy close to the season. Well, now see. Now we're up and down again. Seriously, Jersey, what are you doing? $67 points is the lowest wild card. So we are 4 points out of a wild card spot. So We would need the Rangers and Islanders to continue to fail, and we would need Detroit to really just start failing, and we would have to start winning a ton of games. So the odds are not really looking like they're in our favor. All right, we'll try to do this as quickly as possible. I know I'm not talking a lot when I'm doing that, but I was doing math in my head, so. Montgomery. So we're going to start with Chapman. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Trying to split the scouting duties evenly between the two scouts that I have in that region. Coupe and Vichier. So here's a weird thing. So we were scouting Coupe over here, but he dropped real low. Like our scout sees him as 350 overall. And Central Scouting, he even dropped in Central Scouting. So I'm going to take him off of that scout's responsibility. You know what? Yeah, it's a lot of players, though. I could not have possibly counted that right. They can't be doing 22 guys. Man, but there are. There's... That's going to be tough. That's a lot of... It's a lot of players that are not going to get properly scouted. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to... July 7th. All right, so Canon is the last one here. All right, so there's 10. All right, so the rest of these guys... Yeah, these players that are 200 and up, we're not going to get a better scout of them, but I mean, they're going to be very late round picks anyway, so not really a huge deal if we don't get a proper scouting of them. Just kind of sucks because I would like to have a good look at all prospects because, you know, every now and then you find a late round steal. All right, so it was 19 players each. All right, so that means... But the question is... Yeah, once again, we're into August. So we're going to have to knock off some of these to get it down to... All right, so down to P10. All right, well, that's still... All right, so we might not get one of those guys scouted that I've got listed. We'll see. Let's see if July 25th. All right, so these last couple guys here, we'll just get them off of here. I think Murley was the name of the last. Yeah, so that's fine. We're still going to get a good look at most of the players that are available. USA West and East, not a problem because just simply don't have that many players. Same thing with the DEL. I think this is another 15 and 15, so... Let's get the other league. No, see, he's not even going to have to do 15. There wasn't even 15 guys to... Yeah, that was a lot less available than I thought there was going to be. Yeah, go ahead. Scout all these guys. Old Flynn here is the only one who's got any hope of making the NHL. Now, when I do the 48-team league, whenever I do that that series, even those players that are very late in these draft rounds, a lot more players are going to be getting selected because instead of a 32-team league, you're adding 16 more players per round that get picked up. So there's going to be a ton of extra players, like well over 100 that, you know, for every draft class that are going to be pulled into the NHL or whatever our league is going to be called, our World League, I guess. I don't know. I'm probably going to end up... Oh, here we go. Here we go. With the spam. There it is. All right, July 22nd, yeah. All right, so I'm going to have to get rid of... All right, I'm going to try to do 15 each. Hopefully we'll get them all scouted. Yeah, 15 was the lucky number. All right, so we're going to start with Von Arx for the other scout. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And LA, amazing that they actually have like any players. Although I will say it has always kind of irked me that you've got these other regions that you can have scouts and there's hardly ever any players there. And forever it's always been like, oh, you can have someone who can scout the rest of the world. But there's never players in the rest of the world. There's never anybody that pops up in any kind of other random place. Like, even though you've got like your international teams, like you've got Korea, you've got Japan, like we've got all these, we have random countries out there that have hockey. You're telling me that there's not like a couple of players worth looking at, even if they're going to be like probably going to be late round picks if they're ever even going to have a shot. Like the game can't generate any players from outside of those leagues that we have. But like that's just always been something that's irked me. The rest of the world like doesn't exist practically. All right, let's get up to the trade deadline. All right, I'm certain that we don't really have a shot at making the playoffs now. 63 points. We're now 6 points out of a spot with two teams. I'm sorry, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 4 teams between us and the last wild card spot. So I think going into this, I think now is going to be the time to put some players up on the trading block that I'm going to have to part with. Dougie Hamilton being one of them. And I hate parting with Dougie, but he's 34 years old. He's making $9 million, and I'm pretty sure he wants like 2 years at over 9 from the last time I looked. Oh no, he's asking for less now. However, Dougie's time with this team, 34 years old. He's going to be expensive. I'm going to have to part with him. Holtz, how are you doing right now? 10 goals. He's still at a -9. All right, what about Sharangovich? So everybody's production is kind of crapping out here. Holtz I still have as an RFA. He's going to ask for less money. Sharangovich wants a boost of money. Now, I can pull that off, but I have to trade Dougie Hamilton. Graham Clark also doesn't want to come back. I can see if I can get anything for him. Duggan doesn't matter. He's just he's a Utica player. Yeah, we want Vanacek to stick around, but how much is he going to ask for? He wants 4.25, or making. All right, so he's going to want a little bit of a pay increase. Unfortunately, Lukonen's his overall is already coming down, but I mean, worst comes to worst, I can trade him at some point, possibly. But he's younger than Vanacek. But right now, I don't really have the. Yeah, these guys are they are improving, but they're not quite there yet. Nico Dawes, in order to stick around, it would be a cheap re-sign. I think I can re-sign Nico. I can bring him up. I can actually trade I think I can trade Vanacek, put Nico in his place. But we don't have to. Plus, if Nico Dawes wants out, he's not going to grow much more than this. That would put Schmid in as, because he's an easy re-sign. It's going to be dicey. It's going to really come down to how much of a jump I get from Grantham and Goldobin. Gilly Sen, he's going to have to go. He's a 69 overall. He's just barely better than the guy who hasn't even set foot into the pros yet. So it is what it is. And then we got Shishkinov here, who's all being weird. Doesn't want an extension, although I'm going to try to get him one. Chase Stillman doesn't want to stick around. Chubasov doesn't want to stick around. I mean, I don't think either one of them are ever gonna make the NHL, so I can trade those guys away. You know what? Give me 1 second, guys. I am gonna write these guys down. The ones who don't want contract extensions, who I can get rid of. Because if these players don't want to re-sign, I don't have to hold on to them. I don't need to, like Chase Stillman, I had to pay him over $1 million just to keep him around for one more year. AHL players, I don't really need to hold on to the AHL players, although the reason why I like filling out my entire roster with them is I try to build like my draft picks around other decent players. But what I'm going to have to do now is I'm just going to have to sign specific guys that are going to complement. I can't really, I'm not going to be able to really rely on the head coach as much. Shishkinov. I mean, he's 23 out of 72. You know what? I could trade him. I could probably get something decent out of it. Because I've got other defensemen that I'm developing that I've already drafted that I can replace him with. I mean, unfortunately, it is what it is, you know. Hamilton. Definitely going to have to lose him because even though he's only going to be wanting $7 million next year, it's going to be too pricey for me to deal with. Graham Clark wants to leave, but whatever. We're going to hold on to him until the end of the season. Same thing with Duggan. All right. Well, I've got some AHL guys and I've got an NHL guy. Oops, not what I meant to do. But Vanacek, I don't have to trade Vanacek. I can hold on to Vanacek, and I'm going to need to, at least in the short term. He's not asking for a lot more, and he only wants 2 more years. All right, so let's hold on to him. We are a seller. Let me... Dougie Hamilton, definitely on there. Vanacek does not. No. Does, yes. Stillman and Chubasov. All right. Let's see what I can get. For Hamilton. No trades found. Are you shitting me? Ooh. You're looking to get Sharangovich, and you're going to give me 2 second-round picks. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. That makes me sad, but I'm going to do it. So nobody else is interested in him? All right, so let me look at... Nobody is interested. Am I going to have just a bunch of players that nobody wants? Is that what's about to happen here? Nico Dawes. Just out of curiosity, what could I get for him? Not a hell of a lot. So definitely not worth trading him. Stillman and Chubasov. So let me... Wow. All right, let me put Hamilton up here. He won't be able to take him, or they won't be able to take him. Buffalo. Actually, hang on a second. If I'm going to be making a trade, I want to make a trade with a team that's currently shitty. All right, so we're talking... All right, so these are the top 7, 8, 9. Oh, we're the 10th. All right, so anyone lower than us at this juncture is who I'm going to want to focus on. Nope, the wrong one. All right there, Arizona. Nope, not giving you either one of those. All right, so Chubasov piques your interest. I'm just looking at draft picks. Can I get a sixth for him? Nope. How about a seventh? Wow, you don't even want a seventh for him, huh? All right, how about this? I'll give you a Chubasov and a seventh if you give me a sixth. Or give me a fifth for next year. Because you're probably going to be terrible next year, too. Yay! All right, so I got an extra pick for next year. That's fine. But once again, let's get Dougie Hamilton up here. Buffalo, not one of the bottom teams. Carolina, not one of the bottom teams. Chicago is. But they're not interested in him, which would make trading him to them much harder. But I'll come back to Chicago. Colorado definitely does not need them. I just want to see who's interested in him. It's going to be teams that are... I mean... Could they cough up their first round pick for him? And they'd be over the salary cap anyway. Who else was interested in him? Carolina. Well, we could send him home. Dougie came from Carolina. They'd be over the salary cap by not a whole hell of a lot. So maybe you give us back a prospect? Do you have any Stromberg here? What's a scoop with him? It's 20 years old. We don't really know anything about him. Still, they'd still be over this. All right. He's probably going to put most of these teams over the cap. These guys are all, yeah, that would put them over. That would put them over. LA could afford him. So I'd have to take someone, bring someone back. Whoop. For a second round pick in 2029. No, I don't think that's really going to do me a hell of a lot of good. Funny that they're the ones who just offered me something and I'm trying to work on a trade with them. You know what? Wait, what does that say? Lacks loyalty. Well, whatever. They don't want to trade that guy, but maybe I can sweeten the deal with another player that I am trying to rid myself of. Oh yeah, I have too many guys. All right, what if I give you a 6th round pick? I didn't think so. Well, maybe I can give you one of those thirds. You wanted the 3rd round picks, so maybe. What if I retain some of his salary? I'm not going to retain a lot of it. I'll retain 2 million of it. You guys are being a pain in my ass. 5th? A 4th? All right, you know what? Screw this. Especially because like their 1st round pick is not that freaking great. Minnesota can afford him. And he's definitely worth a lot more than their 1st round pick. Maybe we take 2 1st round picks off their hands. I'll give you another 2nd round. And there we go. All right. Well, we traded away Douglas Hamilton. So we still have Stillman and Chugasov. Whoops. Well, I guess so much for that. I was not paying attention to how much time. But hey, we just landed 2 first-round picks. So we got Tampa Bay's and Minnesota's first-round picks. Now, granted, these are going to be late picks because both of those teams are pretty decent. Of course, we're going to have to do a little bit of rearranging here. Oh, yeah. I forgot I traded Sharangovich. All right, well. We have no scratched players. That's all right, because I think old Berkeley Catton here is ready to make his NHL debut next season. So we can bring him up soon. And maybe we can convince old Chase to stick around. We'll see. But right now, Holtz wants to come back. Well, we definitely want him back. He's asking for quite a bit less than he was asking beforehand. So this is, I think that's fair. So what he's asking for, it's going to make him 28, where he's going to be peaked out on his development. Graham Clark, I don't care. I can replace you. Duggan, I can replace you. Sherratt, we'll see. Cody Clark, we'll see. Riley Walsh. I mean, these are all guys I can worry about later. Landry is going to be probably ready to make the jump into the NHL. Wait, who's saying no? Shishkinov. I'm probably going to try to re-sign him just so that I've got Vanacek. I think that's fair. Nico does not want to resign, but I'm going to need him. Look, just stick around for a little bit of extra money. All right. Schmid, I would like to hold on to you for a little longer. Yeah, Sen, I'm sorry, but you're going to be on your way out the door. All right, let me just double check Sherratt and Walsh. Well, Riley Walsh is not really going to develop much more. How much is he going to be expecting? All right, we'll see where we're standing at the end of the season here. Graham Clark, I'm not worried about. We can let him go. At this point, and we're on the hook for Dougie's the end of his contract here, but again, it's not a lot of money. All right, so 3.591, so 3.6 million left in cap space, and then whatever next season ends up jumping to. All right, let's see how this pans out as we close out the season. All right, Vanacek is good. Holtz is good. Dawes is good. Schmid is good. All right. That's what we like to see. All right, we have an elite sniper, but he's small. Very, very small. Must bulk up. But small or not, that's a hell of a player to have. And another really good goaltender is out there. But did we have any gems that have developed? We got one. Tobias Sturm. Funny. So that's someone who I can keep on my radar. And they're being scouted right now by Bonk. Yeah, we're still just kind of middling around here. 78 points. We're 3 points out of a playoff spot. And sinking. Yeah, we definitely shit the bed there. All right. What can you do? It's a very disappointing season. Utica, however, made the playoffs again. So let's see how does the Utica Comets pull off here. They might do well. They might blow it again. Let's see. They're 1-0, 2-0. Nico gets hurt, which is not a good sign, but they're 3-0. 4-0, and they sweep the first round, which I think is exactly what they did last season against the same team. I'm pretty sure. Which is just kind of funny. All right, moving on and facing Rochester again. I think Rochester, was it Rochester's? No, it was the Lehigh Valley Phantoms that beat them last time. Uh-oh, 0-1. 1-1. 1-2. Take a pause. Anything, nothing new. Another gem pops up. But an AHL top 2 defenseman, that's just weird. One and 3. Uh-oh. No, they're 3 and 3. I was off. 3 and 3. Game 7. And they move on. Taking on the Wolfpack. Going into Hartford. Or actually, Hartford's coming to Utica. How do they do in the conference finals? 1-0. 2-0, thanks to overtime. 2-1. 3-1. Utica moves on to the finals. And they're going to take on Texas. All right, Calder Cup playoffs are underway. 1-0, a 5-0 win. 2-0, 4-3 in overtime. 3-0, 4-2. Are they going to sweep Texas? No way. Nah, 3-1. And they did it. The Utica Comets are your Calder Cup champions. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are your Stanley Cup champions. Because Tampa Bay Lightning, clearly, they do not win enough championships. All right, Tampa. Let's look at the awards real quick. Montreal got the President's Trophy, which is crazy. All right. Matthews with the Art Ross. McKinnon again with the Hart. Kale McCarr gets the Norris again. Yamamoto with the Lady Bing. Calder goes to Klingberg. That was the franchise player that I wanted to try to steal. I thought it was Columbus that got him. It was not. It was Seattle. Pooh. Already a Calder winner. But that's usually that happens. The first round, first overall pick tends to be that guy. Braden Point with the Conn Smythe. Braden Point with the Conn Smythe. Anderson with the Vezina. And the Jennings. Woo! Gets the Masterson for the second year in a row. Winnipeg's coach gets the Jack Adams. Matthews gets the Selke. McKinnon gets the Lindsay again. And the Richard again. How about, did we have any players? Chase Stillman gets the Butterfield. That is the most valuable player of the playoffs. Now I definitely want to re-sign him. No, that was it. $56 points. Look at this. Chase Stillman did pretty damn well. Jack Hughes, 30 goals this year. Brad's production, not as high as it had been. He's just still doing fine. Yeah, I got a feeling this team is, they're going to be struggling. Gonna be struggling. Yeah, Nico's making the most money ever, and he's putting up the least points ever. So that's not good. All right, Holtz's assists went way up, even though he's a sniper. All right, Benson doing better. All right. All right. Now. Where do we end up? 10th. All right. Well, let's do what we always do. Let's get to the. All right. So the maximum salary cap went up to 100 million, which will help me out a little bit. We have the 11th overall pick. Vegas gets the number 1. The good thing is I have 3 first-round picks. So I can parlay them into picking up one of these top guys. So I can find someone who I think is going to really fit well and try to nab that guy. I mean, who knows? Maybe we can get that first overall kid, but he's so small. But we can possibly steal it from Vegas. We'll see. One more look at the draft class. All right, no surprises there. We still have those same 2 gems. Indeed. All right, well, elite, medium, hybrid, maybe. This is just if he happens to. Top 6D, now that's different. Now that's seems more like a worthwhile snag. Klubertans. 5'10", 173. What's with all the really tiny guys? 5'8", 5'8". So these guys are like... Doesn't say that he has to bulk up. How does he have a physical of an A-? One T, shock and awe, close quarters, magnetic, beauty, backhand. I mean, other than that, the fact that he's small, he has everything that I would want my player to want a player to have. He's just a tiny guy. So, I'm going to make an attempt to steal this away from Vegas. If I can't get him, getting another strong... Well, he's got good shooting, too, for a playmaker. And it is actually greatly improves shot blocking and hitting strength while defending against rush So he's actually got some decent two-way going on there. So if I can't get that first pick overall, then the second overall pick would not be a bad consolation prize. So we'll see. All right, so who has retired? Ovechkin finally retires at the age of 42. Claude Giroux. Marcus Johansson. I guess he figured no one's hiring me, so I might as well retire. All right, so I'm sure we don't have any. We got a very young team. We don't have anyone who's old enough to retire. Oh, I forgot we had Ben Sherrod on our squad, and he wanted to be resigned. He wanted an extension. He was like, "Yeah, I'll take an extension." Nah, he's just going to retire. All right, see ya. I mean, whatever. I wasn't going to bring him back anyway. I just wanted him for that 1 year. Another coach retires. Peter Ivanins. All right. And I have a scout that retired from USA East. Not a big deal. All right, so which coach did I lose? The goalie coach. The goalies, god damn. The goalies in this game, the goalie coaches rather, are just constantly like just cycling. Well, I guess promoting you to be the new NHL coach. Because last season, both of my goaltending coaches retired. So I'm going to have to find... Wow, they were a 79. I moved him up, and they went up to an 80. So I'm going to have to pick up another goaltending coach for the AHL. No big deal. No big deal. All right. Well, guys, that's going to be it for now. How was your production, by the way? Yeah, not as good as last year. All right. Once again, all the off-season stuff I'm going to do on my own time. See if I can pull off some kind of maneuver in the draft. Oh my God! And the spammer is back. Nobody cares. Go away. Very annoying. All right, so anyway, like I said, that's it. Let's see if I can steal that top pick from Vegas, and if not Vegas, whoever it was that has the second pick, which I can't remember. I'll take either one, and I'll be happy. I am also more than likely going to have to try to figure out really working these lines out. We've got 12 million, almost 13 million in cap space. So I'm going to have to look at my lines. See who I'm holding on to. See who I'm going to say goodbye to. I mean, Stillman, we're going to try to hold on to Stillman. He doesn't even want as much money. In fact, this is what I'm going to do. Look, I'll give you 9.25 for 2 more years. Yeah, you talk it over with your family. You go do that. Because I mean, if he produced that well, but look at Landry, man. 18 years old, he's an 80 overall. He's looking like he's going to be ready to make a jump. So I think some of these guys are going to be ready to step right in. Landry, I believe, is probably about to step right in. Because defenseman, yeah, he's definitely jumping in because Sherratt retired, so he's gone. Riley Walsh is only a 78, so he's not exactly killing it out there. And he's not going to grow anymore. But I'm willing to give him an extension because I'm going to hold on to him as a 7th defenseman. So that'll help. But at any rate, we do have, like I said, we do have guys who are ready to make the jump. And I'm going to try to hold on to Shishkinov. And if not, if we lose him, we lose him. Whatever. I'm not gonna cry about it. But anyway, I'm gonna go over do my draft interviews and all that other fun stuff, and we'll figure out where we're going from there. So anyway, guys, that's it from now. I just babbled way too long, but I thank you all for watching. I hope that you guys are enjoying me continue to fail to make the playoffs, even let alone win a cup. What can you do? But anyway, I hope everybody out there is staying safe and healthy and that you're all remaining smart instead of scared of these crazy times that we're living in. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe, hit the notification button, do all that YouTube stuff. And until the next time, as always, peace.